Welcome all architecture students. In this video I am going to go over the Polyline tool so that we can see how to use that. Now there's a difference in the Polyline tool from the line tool, and both tools can do the same thing. Let me get rid of that real quick. There we go. Okay, both tools can do the same thing, the line tool and the Polyline tool, but there is a difference. First I will draw a rectangle, just a small rectangle, with the line tool. Then I will draw one very similar to that one with the Polyline tool. All right, so zooming in on these two rectangles, as we can see, if I come over to the line tool rectangle, every line that I select is a different piece of geometry, is a different entity, okay? And they edit differently as well. So if I grab this line, move it up, and it just moves completely separate from this, the rest of its geometry. However, if I click on this rectangle tool, it's all one geometric entity. And it has different center grips. If I click on this one, you see my center grip is a rectangle. And when I click on the entire poly object here, then my center grip is more like a flat rectangle. You can compare the two and see. Now what that allows me to do is grab a hold of it, pull it, and I can edit it that way instead of just pulling a line and then having to meet up with all the other lines. And I can also go with angles as well. Okay, the only one that is not connected is this one over here because that's where I started at. Okay, and the only sad thing is that you'll never get that corner where I started the drawing. You'll never get that to join. No matter what I do, I can't get that to permanently join. Okay, but it is all one line. It is all one entity, except for that little spot right there. But that's not a big deal. You'll learn how to use that at a later time. On the Polyline tool, of course, we can edit the same way. We can grab grips. We can stretch. I can type in a total distance, as you see up there in the top dynamic box that currently says 25.3802. Okay, so I can type a total distance in there and get that top to reach a total distance. I can also use the tab key and go over to the polar coordinate box and type an angle. So if I wanted it to go up at a particular degree, I can either move it with the cursor or I can type the angle in there. Okay, and there's other things you can do by hitting the tab button. I can also eventually go to this other box, the box that is on the horizontal or the vertical line that currently says 21.0178, and there we go. I hit the tab key again to get it over there. So you can get to any of those distance or polar angle boxes and change the distance of the vertical or horizontal lines and the angle of that grip. Okay, this grip right here, I can do the same way. I can stretch it, and I can type a distance that I want to add to it. Now this one would be adding a distance and not doing a total distance. So I can add 2 units to it, and then it just stretched 2 units. I can also, once I start bending it around, I can also add an angle to it as well. I can actually add a distance and angle at the same time. So right now that distance box is 5.2011. I'm just going to call it 5, and then I'm going to hit the tab button over to the angle box and make it 30 degrees. Okay, so I just moved that. I stretched the box out 5 units and I angled it at 30 degrees. Okay, so those are the things that you can do with a polyline, and that's what makes it different than the rectangle or the straight line tool. Okay, and that's it for polylines.